Hi, I'm Ajay Banerjee, Deputy Editor of the Tribune at New Delhi. Today, the Indian Army Chief General Dhiraj Seth took over. Rather, he had taken over yesterday. But today, he made his first public statement after becoming the chief. First, General Seth inspected a guard of honor at the lawns of the South Block in New Delhi. From there on, he gave around a 5-minute statement detailing what are his priorities. He detailed 5 priorities, and those 5 priorities are part of an acronym named VIJAY. VIJAY in Hindi means victory. Those 5 words in the word VIJAY, V-I-J-A-Y, are 5 separate priorities. Each word stands for a different priorities. I'll read out those priorities to you. First, the General Seth said about VIJAY, V is for vigilance, I stands for innovation and transformation, J in the word VIJAY stands for jointness and integration, A stands for atmanirbharta. Atmanirbharta, for our readers and viewers, is meaning of self-reliance on our own equipment. And Y stands for Yodha. Yodha is Hindi word for soldier. So basically, General Seth has covered everything in these 5 words, or these 5 priorities which he laid down and named the acronym VIJAY. Now, I'll break this down further, how this VIJAY mean for the Indian Army. First, General Seth made it very clear that vigilance, when he spoke of the first word V in VIJAY, he said that vigilance, I quote, Army will maintain a constant vigilance along the borders and against emerging threats. So he made it clear that the army was in readiness to counter any threats from across Pakistan or from China, the 2 threats which India faces immediately in a traditional war. Next, he stepped about innovation and transformation. General Seth said his innovation would be on doctrine and technological solutions. There has been a transformation in the Indian Army since post-Operation Sindoor, with major technological innovations coming in. General Seth was part of the Southern Command of the Indian Army when the transformation process and the battle groups were tested out in the desert sector last winter. Now, General Seth sits at the top position in the Indian Army now. He has spoken about this development and the capacity development needed for these necessary transformations. Also, General Seth, when he mentioned about the next step of the word VIJAY, that is J, he mentioned jointness and integration. These are critical words for the Indian military and the Indian armed forces, because jointness and integration is part of Prime Minister Modi's directive given to the forces to have a common approach towards war fighting. Operation Sindoor was a little example which the forces gave in joint war fighting against Pakistan in May last year. Jointness and integration is part of the mandate of the Chief of Defence Staff. The Chief of Defence Staff has given out a formula to the government, the Ministry of Defence and to the government, of which the 3 service chiefs have given their opinions on how the jointness has to be taken first. Now, General Seth in his today's words made it clear that Army will maintain complete synergy and coordination with the Indian Air Force and the Navy. He also made it clear that this would contribute towards Viksit Bharat or developed India by 2047. Now, coming to the next letter of the word VIJAY is A, Atmanirbharta. Very important. General Seth spoke about indigenous capabilities and technology development within the country, and he said, I quote, we must build a self-reliant army. The overall aim will be to win our wars with indigenous solutions, unquote. Now, the last word of the word acronym VIJAY is Y, or Yodha, or that Yodha stands for English for soldier, which is the most important aspect of any standing army. The Indian Army is around 1.2 million strong and faces a 2-front war scenario with Pakistan and China. And he spoke a very important word today. General Seth said, I quote, from the Agniveer to the senior-most veteran, each one is a warrior. Now, these are vital words as General Seth takes over or has taken over. And he has spoken about modernization and the need to transform the Indian Army into a modern battle for fighting machine. General Seth's tenure starts today. He is expected to be at the helm for another 2.5 years, and the process of transformation has already begun under his predecessor, General Upendra Dwivedi, with the army transformed itself into from largely a land force into having more integrated weapons like UAVs and long-range missiles. General Seth will overlook and implement those changes, including the changes of transformation under the CDS to become a joint force with the Indian Army, with the Indian Air Force and the Indian Navy. We will keep on updating you the story. With me is Tribune photographer Mukesh Agarwal.